I would like to discuss now is professional ethics. We all know what is the meaning of ethics, and we would have studied about it. We would have dwelt with it earlier. Professional ethics is principles that govern the behavior of a person or group in a business environment. What the world needs today is a class on ethics, because your ethics is different from what I feel, and the ethics that was in place when Das sir was here in NIT Trichy as a student is totally different from the set of ethics or code that we have today among the students. But when we have a group of people or an individual together, there should be a set of written rules, or what we in cybersecurity terminologies call as protocol. Okay, and that protocol or rules, or what in ethics we call it as principles, govern the behavior of a group or a person together. I had a alumni from Morgan Stanley come back to the institution here as a chief guest, and she said, "Madam, in Morgan we have our own Morgan principles and ethics, and anyone who joins in Morgan Stanley continues in the institution because we have Morgan principles governing us. Every year we have the ethics and principles reinforced inside us so that we know what it is to be a part of this family." And she is actually a vice president now. And what she says is, these values or ethics provide the rules of how a person should act toward other people and institutions in an environment, and this is being defined. Actually, UGC has given a set of guidelines for educators, which is called as personal ethics. How many of you have gone through the document? We normally overlook it, but it's very important to know what this is and go by the principles behind it. And these professionals will have relationships either with an employer or as a client who uses the products, suppliers who deliver products, then other professionals who are present in the system, who interact, IT users, or the society at large. It can be anyone, more than one person trying to interact with each other. There should be a set of principles or value systems that govern them. What are the qualities that they have to think about? Honesty, integrity, transparency, accountability, confidentiality, objectivity, respectfulness, and obedience to law. All these are general terminologies that you have heard every day, but in terms of a professional ethic, there are a set of standards depending on the type of corporation you work with, depending on the personal standards of behavior. The standards vary, and the rules or the corporate terminologies behind it also vary. The value systems behind it remain the same, but depending on the company that you work with, the standards of ethics change, right? One is honesty. I just skim through the set of guidelines so that we will start working on a problem. Honesty will be to refer to the facet of moral character and denotes positive, virtuous attributes such as integrity, truthfulness, straightforwardness. How do you define them? We have lawyers here, and we have people who have studied law also. How do you define honesty today? In cyberspace, we call it fakes, identifying fakes. And how do you define that something is honest? And how do you term integrity, truthfulness, straightforwardness, and how do you quantify them? That is where professional ethics plays a role. It is a unseen set of rules that the world or the corporate or the system or an educational institution is built upon, and it is built upon over time. Okay, so William Shakespeare says, "Honesty is the best policy. If I lose my honor, I lose myself." Okay, Integrity is consistency of actions, values, methods, measures, principles, expectations and outcome, and they can be regarded as the opposite of hypocrisy. And the concept of integrity was ingrained in a child from the time he is being brought up, and it should be inculcated in the early childhood days in order to build up on them. But the word integrity is derived from the Latin adjective called wholeness. But when integrity is not present, your knowledge is dangerous, because those two always go hand in hand in order to increase the livability of a community. Transparency is a set of policies, practices and procedures. It allows citizens to have accessibility, usability, utility, understandability, informativeness, auditability. Thankfully, in the information era that we are in, the cyber connectivity that we have now, transparency can easily be achieved, wherein we have WhatsApp. Today morning a WhatsApp group was formed and all of us joined into the WhatsApp group, and any information immediately reaches everyone. Okay. In the midst of this, can we achieve 100% transparency? When there is 100% transparency, everyone in the group feels empowered. Everyone gets access to the information, and each and every person in the group is open to the knowledge that is available. They can use it in their own way and try to improve upon it. So that is the use of transparency. Our RTI acts that were enacted had this kind of a transparency in mind, where every individual will be empowered in order to use whatever information that is available. Accountability, who is accountable for what? There's some problem with the workshop, the coordinators are accountable, the resource persons are accountable. So there is a point or a place where there is answerability, blameworthiness, liability and account giving. It is the acknowledgement and assumption of responsibility for actions, products, decisions and policies, and be answerable for resulting consequences. Wherever accountability is there, we will be able to know who is in charge, and the process also flows smoothly. Like when Sir was discussing about policy, he said the CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer, is answerable, and he holds responsibility for the entire process that takes place. So it cannot exist without proper accounting practices. That's why we have auditing, we have people inspecting, in order to ensure that accountability is maintained. There are political accountability, ethical accountability, accountability in administration and education, individual accountability, constituency relations, public-private overlap. These are some of the examples. We will not go into details of them. Confidentiality is discretion associated with the profession, such as medicine, law, psychotherapy, wherein when a patient or a client comes with a problem, the problem has some confidentiality with it for the person who offers solutions to them, and there is an unknown, unseen pact between them. So in law and mediation, we call it privileged communications, classified informations or documents. So in business, we have need to know. In military, it's basic to the security of the corporate information. Objectivity is the principle of journalistic professionalism. What is journalistic professionalism? I don't just tell whatever I think. I go with an open mind in order to find solutions. So objectivity enables highly accelerated news reporting with sometimes it is a tension with the standards of objectivity, where the journalist remains consistently neutral. He doesn't take sides of the affected party or the party who is being blamed on it. So they take a third person view of the given problem and try to find solutions in them. Respectfulness is another quality wherein you have a positive feeling of esteem, a respect you give to people so that they are able to achieve their fullest potential. They are able to become who you want them to become. As an educator, my desire is to give respect to each and every individual participant so that you get something out of the course that is given. Okay, it's a mutual give and take, which gives a positive feeling of esteem for a person and conduct representative of that esteem. It can be a feeling of regard for actual qualities of the one respected. We all respect our expert because of the qualities that he embodies together. Okay, and what Albert Einstein says is very important. I speak to everyone in the same way, whether he is the garbage man or the president of the university, because everyone is an individual and everyone has their own positives and negatives, and everyone has a value attached to them. So as a human being, we are supposed to give this feeling of respect and get respect for who we really are. And I would always envision Abdul Kalam, just walking into a classroom, looking at a set of small children and becoming one of them and talking to them. Of course, he is remembered for his respectfulness towards people. Okay, it is a ethic that comes by developing if it is not naturally ingrained inside us. Obedience to law. Law is a set of enforced rules. We have law expert here and he was talking about jurisdiction and how we work with these laws. Now this is a basic social institution that establishes the rules that define a person's rights and obligations, and it sets penalties also, and it reflects the changes in the society's needs and attitudes, and there are amendments to this law. As the needs change, the amendments are being made to it, and this set of rules and guidelines are enforced through social institutions in order to govern the behavior of a society. And for India, we go by the Constitution of India, which is a beautiful document that tells us what is the way in which the society has to function. So basically we call all these attributes to be the code of ethics, which are guidelines for a specific group of professionals. Now can you tell me what is the definition of a professional? How do you define a professional? Are you a professional? Yes or no? Yes. How many of you think you are not a professional? How do you define it? Because professionals are going to have a set of professional ethics. Okay, according to your profession, you will have a set of rules or ethics that govern. Be it a mechanic, be it a car designer, be it an inventor, whoever it is, they will have their own set of rules or ethics that define them. So how do you define a professional?
A person who does his job or profession diligently is a professional.
Okay, a person who has a profession is a professional.
Does his job.
Who takes his job seriously, okay. A person who takes his job seriously. Is there a kind of job that defines the profession or profession that defines the job? One second, madam. Yes.
Profession is an individual. It's not a group of members or it's an individual company. He has a defined set of subject matter expertise that he belongs to, that he is good at, and he definitely has his own skill set, responsibility. He clearly knows what he delivers and what he gets in return.
Yes. So, based on summarizing what you said, a professional is a person who is trained on something or has a skill set, and a professional is someone who keeps improving his skills and he tries to better himself up. Is there any demarcation of what kind of skills belong to a professional and what do not belong to a professional?
In traditional, if we talk traditionally, yes, there are a certain skill set which are professions, and there are certain skill set which are not profession.
Okay.
Like house help. Like if a house help is working, then it is not called a profession. Right? That is called, I think, just a job or a work. That is not called a profession. Whereas a doctor, he is into a profession. Traditionally, this is what has been taught to us, that I know.
Yes.
A social activist is not a profession.
Yes.
Okay.
A social activist is not a profession.
Okay. Any other point of view? Yes, madam.
Passion towards the profession will make more professionalism, and I think it is self-discipline towards work.
Okay, self-discipline and passion, two important words, yes. Skill set, self-discipline, passion, yes, and improvement on your skills, yes.
People, person who knows what they do, they are called professionals.
Excellent. Persons who know what they do. So, there are persons who don't know what they do and still they are called amateurs. Excellent. Excellent answer. I like that very much.
Profession pays professional tax.
Oh, based on the tax, we call them professionals. You know, in India, we normally say white-collared jobs and then grey-collared, and we try to define. That's why we are in the, conundrum, if we can call it, the rat race for becoming either a NEET aspirant or a JEE aspirant, and you don't do both, then you have not achieved much in your life, okay? And that, is in contrast with the code of ethics that the world is built on, okay? Code of ethics will help the professionals to apply moral and ethical principles to specific situations encountered in professional practice. It's not based on what I already know or what my parents brought me up in. It is based on the society. Yesterday when I was talking with Sir was talking about his time in US, and he said the first thing I did was I went to the US, I learned their culture, and I tried to understand how they lived in, and I tried to fit into that society. And that helped me in trying to reach greater heights, if I am right, sir. Yes? So, that is said to be the code of ethics that we try to generate up within ourselves. If we had gone to US and said, this is my country's principle or my professional code, ethics, and I would only stick on to it, it is difficult, okay? We try to blend into what is available to us. These codes convey the rights, duties, obligations of the members of the profession, okay? It's a unknown, unlettered ethic that comes into picture whenever we enter into an organization, NIT Trichy has its own professional ethic, and your institution has its own professional ethic. Everyone has got their own ethics based on which we work with. So, this is actually the UGC code of ethics. There is can you just type into your browser the UGC code of ethics and take that? UGC has provided with a document for professional ethics of an individual. Yes. It's actually from the early years, from 1989. You can just go through the document of professional ethics, because I thought I'd show you the UGC professional ethics document, because most of us are either students or educators. So you can go through the document in order to understand what exactly it is. It will be shared to you later on along with the material for this day, but I just want you to scroll through the document to find it out. And read it. Go through the document. Later on, you can write your own professional ethic. What will be your standard document, and you can submit that as an assignment for today. Okay. So you will have to write your statement of professional ethics. Similar to, I will show you a few more codes for individuals, for organizations. As an individual, this UGC code of ethics is for faculty or teachers who work in their institutions. Okay. Next. Have you gone through? Please read through the documents, and then you can, as a group, discuss answers for these 4 questions and write it down in papers. Please give them one paper each. 1 A4 sheet for each individual. You can discuss together as a group the answers for these 4 questions and write them down in the papers that are given to you.
For which role, for which profession?
Your profession. Individual. Yes, you belong to. That's why I have given it as a educator or a cybersecurity professional, which most of you would fit into one way or the other. You can write the questions down in the paper and then discuss answers for it, and one of you can consolidate your group's answer and give us a submission of a group activity. You can take 10 to 15 minutes to discuss answers within the group and write it down in your papers. You can read the UGC professional guidelines, code of ethics once. You can give them individually papers. You can discuss together as a group and submit one sheet to us. Okay, sit together as a group so that you will be able to interact. You belong to which group? So you can come this side, no? Turn the chair so that you can join them. So you were talking about skilled, unskilled workers. So what are the characteristics that distinguish, characteristics or qualities which we had discussed earlier that distinguish a professional from other kind of workers, and what is the role of an educator or a cybersecurity professional or an industrial person? What is the relationship? What relationship must educators or cybersecurity professional manage, and what key ethical issues can arise in each? Maybe 2 or 3 or 1 situation from your work environment that you can solve. How do code of ethics, professional organizations, certifications and licensing affect the ethical behavior of the educator or a cybersecurity professional? Ethics, code of ethics, I have already shown you UGC code of ethics. Professional organizations, you have IEEE, ISTE. Those are all professional organizations that try to define an individual. Okay, and you have for industry you have FSSAI. Those are said to be standards that have certain criteria, do an inspection and try to provide industry with certifications. Licensing for various software that we use, and then we have certifications that are given based on some criteria that are set earlier. So how do all this affect the ethical behavior of an individual? Answers only to these 4 questions. Okay, think about these 4 questions and write answers. Discuss first together as a group, then as a group find out what are the solutions that you have, and for all the 4 questions you will have to write answers to them. One answer per group on a A4 sheet. You will have to submit the answers to us. I'll give you 10 minutes for discussing, and then 5 minutes for consolidating your answers. So after 15 minutes you should be back.
Even if there are 2 professions in a group, answer for one given profession.
Yes, yes,
And ask all of the help.
yes, yes. Everyone has got the papers? Yes. Please, 2 of you can come this side so you can face each other. You're not supposed to sit as a classroom, no? You both can sit here. Just leave your things and come. Take the chair so that in the side la thirupi vechukonga. So it's easier to discuss, no? You will have face-to-face contact. Come here. Va, give up. Abdi ukar. Only as a group you will be able to discuss better. Come. Two of you come this side. Come. Thambi nee rendu peru inge va. The chair mattu thirupikko. So you want coffee? You want coffee or something? Oh, it's outside. So you want to rest? You want to rest for some time? Because you have been standing all along. You are fine? Thank you.
next time when I talk from here,
Okay.
put my picture behind
Okay,
it.
okay.
Change,
Pages change.
yeah, it doesn't look good. The picture doesn't look good. They should have my own picture. That's why I wanted to change this.
Change it. Okay, change. I will change.
Me talking with me picture background doesn't look good. So that's why when I come up, I
This should be there. The echo में आपको चाहिए. You want one professional picture next to this, we will take one selfie. So you are doing a part of this. Okay. We'll give you a better picture. If Saroja அது பக்கத்துல நிக்க வச்சு
just leave it there. Then it's okay. I won't be talking from my own picture.
sure.
So that's the joke here.
Yes.
I'm more comfortable standing there.
Yes, sir. The podium is better. But you can have this sitting as a practice for it.
Yeah, either way.
Because this will pick up your voice better for the next one.
For that.
Tomorrow's lecture, 22nd to 9 If we discuss the answers to the questions, it would take another 15 or 20 minutes. So I think we will not have time for that. We will collect your answers and then go through that and give you the feedback tomorrow. Okay. So you can just turn back so that you can view the slides. The IT professional and employer, one example is the ethical use of IT software piracy. We have a business software alliance which represents the largest software and hardware manufacturers, and they have a set of rules that gives the ethical principles behind use of software, and whether we can use, we normally we need a software, we take a crack and try to install it or try to bypass the payment systems in order to use certain softwares. So there are rules in order to work with them, and the Business Software Alliance is a trade group that represents the largest software and hardware manufacturers. So for corporate, the code of ethics include inclusive business, accountable business, transparent business standards, commitment to professed quality, representation accuracy, fair competition, then equal opportunities of the employer by the employer, upholding of employee human rights, health, safety and environment, corporate citizenship, stakeholder representation, business association and conflict of interest. They are all different facets of ethics that normally come into picture in corporate, and professional organizations also have their own set of standards. And we have some of the familiar standards organizations and professional organizations I have just listed here. Association for Computing Machinery, if you go into each of these associations websites, they would have their own vision, mission and then code of ethics. As a professional member of this organization, what is your method of working, what is your behavior, or what is expected of you as a member of this organization. So when you become a member, you sign a contract saying that I will adhere to the principles and value systems specified in their code of ethics. Similar to when you install a software, no, you say I agree to all the principles, and there's a long list of principles, we don't read them. So that is very important in order to understand why we belong to an organization. Say I am a faculty in NIT Trichy, I have a code of ethic and I will have to stick on to that. So every organization has its own code of ethic predefined, and the code of ethics depend on the authenticity of the organization, if I would say. Okay, so ACM has its own code of ethics, then Association of Information Technology Professionals, then Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, Project Management Institute. There are a lot of organizations. For law, what type we have type of associations. For teachers, we have associations. Institute of Engineers, we have a separate association. Everyone has their own set of code of ethics evolved over time. Okay, and as a professional, when we belong to the organization, it is accepted and it is believed that the kind of code of ethics has to be followed in them. Okay, so some common ethical issues that we normally face, based on the code of ethics, we try to solve them. Software piracy, then copying work software for use at home, even when doing some work at home, and it's considered piracy. Inappropriate use of computing resources, then unrelated work websites being surfed during work time, and questionable emails being sent, inappropriate sharing of information, private data or confidential information, trying to give out information that you are not supposed to give out to different individuals. Those all depend on the professional code of ethics that comes into play as an individual. Basically, it's like if I have a authority, I do it. If I do not, my superior does that. Okay, and in certain cases, it depends on your integrity and your basic value systems and principles. But like software piracy, if it's very the cost is very high, we will not be able to use it. So mostly everyone uses a cracked version. So let me also use it. But as a professional, as a person who has a code of ethic, I will not do it because I have an accountability to the organization. This is an example of a use case. I would like you to read this silently and tell me what you would do. Can you see? So this has a problem with the integrity of an individual. Okay. So what would you do?
Rule is a rule.
As long as the rule is on paper and you abide by the rules, even people will not be able to send you out of the job, and the lawyer would come to your rescue. That is why we have laws, in order to bind us together. But if we go according to the ethical principles or the code of ethics that is given to us, we need not fear of any repercussions to us. Okay, even if we are being oppressed, the law is on our side and we would be able to work accordingly. But if we give in to fear or fakes, then there will be a lot of problems and complications resulting because of it. Okay, this is another use case. This is regarding the information or the data that you have. And this does not concern you.
It is none of our business.
Okay.
Somebody asks us to analyze the data and give me the report, then we can do.
Okay.
It's really none of our
What would you as a lawyer do?
I have a follow-up question. You don't believe that this information would otherwise be discovered or disclosed? I didn't get this link.
You only know that the data exists and no one else knows.
But I have the authority to access
Yes, access the data. Yes.
Ma'am, I'll access the data.
You can access the data only because it is an ethical issue and he has been wrongly victimized. So in such case, as a person who has integrity, I am supposed to give out the information that I have. This is where the problem lies in. At times we feel that it is not in my jurisdiction. It is not within my purview. But when someone else is being wronged and I have the right information and I can stand up for the truth, as a person with a professional code of ethics, we have to do it. There is one more interesting case I found out. This is not the Cadbury case. One second. it has another slide. The next slide. This is a situation wherein the chocolate company is also right and the rights organization is also right, and there is a line, hazy line between what is right and what is wrong. And at times, if there are litigations, the professional code of ethics, if taken by the rule, creates problems. If taken by the right spirit, it places the right perspective, and value systems and principles play a very important role. Of course, child labor has to be condoned, but trying to falsely implicate Cadbury to child labor when the consequences cannot be proved on paper, then there is a litigation that follows, and it creates a lot of problems for the name and the reputation of the company. Okay, so a professional code of ethics is required for every individual and every organization, and normally when a person is being recruited to an organization, there will be a HR interview, and what happens in the HR interview is to see if the person's personality and profession matches with the professional ethics of the organization, and only then there would be a value added asset to the organization. So I would request you to work on your own statement of professional ethics. You can write it in a piece of A4 sheet of paper, and or you can type it down in a Word document and send it as a mail to a mail ID. We will let you know by the end of this week in this class in this group. Okay, so you will be doing an individual professional code of ethic, and you will also do a common corporate policy, which we will be discussing in the next tutorial. So shall we go for a tea break now and then be back? You can be seated as a group. Yes, sir?
Yeah, you can have the same group.
Yes.
For the next exercise.
You can have the same group for the next exercise. Sit together as a group, and we will go through a corporate policy together. Then you will be writing your own individual corporate policy. Thank you.